Good morning, night, or afternoon, and welcome to the Snapcast. I'm Snapcap, and today I'll be showing you a couple of tips and tricks for the heavy in Team Fortress 2. And by tips and tricks, I mean barely comprehensible advice that is closer to malicious misinformation than actual helpful instruction. Are you still here? Sweet. Now that I know that you're down with that, and also awesome, let's get right to it. These are my baby steps with heavy, and all hail the motherland. First up, when one steps into the disproportionately small shoes of the overweight mountain-shaped heavy, it's important to remember that while you may be a giant muscle-bound Russian bear man filled with nothing but vodka and hatred for his fellow man, this by no means makes you invincible to any and all damage slung at you by your petty foes. No, when it comes right down to it, the heavy is one of the more vulnerable classes in the game. I suspect by now a few of you out there will be saying, but damn it, Snapcap. Just look at the bottom left-hand corner of your screen and you'll see that the heavy has the most health of any class in the whole game, 300 points to be exact. To which I have two things to say in response. First, shut up, you're talking to your computer screen. And second, look at the bottom left-hand corner of my screen. Does that look particularly healthy to you? Though some people boast the heavy is the tank of TF2, they also seem to forget that there are a good few weapons in the increasingly absurd TF2 arsenal that can floor the heavy faster than a Russian New Year's party. Yeah, it's sad but true that for all the heavy's bullet-cushioning fat, he can be taken down just like that, by your average scatter pyro who just happens to be having a murderous rampage in your nearby area. Now, I'm not saying that whenever you see a skinny Bostonian jogging towards you briskly with a baseball bat in hand, you should turn around and run as fast as your unreasonably tiny legs will take you. What I am saying, though, is that you should endeavor to keep your distance while pumping said Bostonian full of lead like so. Though you're inevitably gonna miss a few and let them into close range, if you can keep your finger on the left mouse button and your cursor on the jumpy bastard for long enough, eventually one of you is gonna fall over, and it's gonna be him. Though I don't have any particular tips for putting up an effective close-quarters fight, apart from practice, you sure as hell aren't going to be able to hit those pesky scouts without putting your mouse sensitivity at approximately the same height as the heavens. After an encounter like this, though, you'll inevitably be left with very little health, leaving you to either run around the battlefield defenseless in search of a magical healing lunchbox, or to sit in the corner licking your wounds while waiting for Valve to put regenerating health into the game. If only you had a secondary slot that contained an item you could eat on the go to restore your health to full, that also magically regenerated every few seconds so that you could use it again. Well, look, I'm sure as shit not talking about the shotgun. That would be bloody daft. What I am talking about is the sandwich. Not only will a quick nibble on this thing replenish your health by 300 points, getting you on the battlefield in top shape faster than you could say, "Medic!" 20 times, it's also extremely nutritious and now with 100% more olives. So before you say anything, yes, the sandwich is part of the heavy's default loadout, and I won't hear another word about it. It's by far the best secondary you can equip with the class, as if you're able to escape a particularly hairy situation with only a sliver of health, you can nip around to one of the various hidey holes on the map usually reserved for spies, and have a munch on your logic-defying insta-healing snack. Though some of you might prefer the classic shotgun for its medium to short-range reliable damage output, I must admit that shut up, your minigun is basically a rapid-fire shotgun anyways. Yeah, when it comes to short-range reliable damage output, you can't get much better than the minigun, referred to affectionately by the heavy as Sasha. For a gun that costs $400,000 to fire for 12 seconds, it's only fair that Sasha can trump just about any class in medium-range kerfuffles. Not only that, but if you land all your shots at close range, Sasha can put out way more damage than the heavy's melee attack, good old left and right. Though it can't really do a great deal of damage to the enemy at long range, it's extremely effective for this nifty tactic called area denial. Since you're putting out so many bullets in a second, it's only fair that a couple will hit the incoming hordes that are swarming your payload, capture point, whatever, causing them to think twice about running at an area that also happens to be co-inhabited by a towering minigun-wielding communist. It is true, however, that your minigun is by no means a click-and-shoot weapon. Rather, it's a click, wait a few agonizing seconds, and then shoot weapon. This means that whenever you spot an enemy in the distance, they can start firing at you instantly, while you're in turn left twiddling your thumbs as you wait patiently for your minigun to stop whatever the fuck it was doing before, and help you kill the fool who's been shooting at you for the past 5 seconds or so. But this can easily be avoided with a little foresight. Remember that whole tiresome right mouse button business? You know, that thing that lays neglected on the wayside of your mouse but is actually used as an alternate ability for most TF2 class weapons? Well, that thing is particularly useful when it comes to playing heavy, as pressing it will keep your minigun spun up and ready to fire at a moment's notice without wasting ammo by shooting randomly at the air. Okay, how do I put this? You like parties, right? Well, we all know that the best parties are surprise parties, and we all know that the best surprises are the ones where a giant Russian mercenary jumps around the corner with a minigun before slaughtering everyone in the nearby vicinity. Convinced now? Good. What I just described there is actually a particularly useful ambush tactic. Though that's not normally the Heavy's area of expertise, if you simultaneously spin up your minigun while jumping around a corner, you can take your unsuspecting foes by surprise as they gaze on in amazement at the agile Heavy leaping gracefully into sight, about to spray them all mercilessly with hot lead. Though it's unlikely that this in itself will be enough to take out a group of foes, you'll take the rest of them down soon enough with the help of your friendly neighborhood medic, who'll doubtlessly be attached to you and only you for the entire game, while your teammates crawl around begging helplessly to be healed of their mortal injuries. And thus you have a responsibility to uphold. And that responsibility is to protect your medic, because let's be honest, he is without a doubt a way more important class than you are, and if it weren't for you endlessly absorbing all the medic's heals, he might be forced to go outside of his comfort zone and pocket someone else instead, like a demo man or something. Either way, you should make sure that your portable heal machine stays safe, as it's best to have a medic around at all times. Heavies? Not so much. Anyway, there you go. What I showed you here today are a few of the mistakes I made while playing the Heavy in Team Fortress 2, and the ways that I learned to fix them. However, disclaimer time. It should be noted that what I've showed you here today are by no means the full set of tips and tricks required to play Heavy like a pro. Sorry, I couldn't say that with a straight face. Anyway, I'm glad you stopped by. Tune into the Snapcast again for more gameplay MacGuffins like this. I'm Snapcap, and I'll catch you later.